We're going to start the meeting. Thank you. We're going to start the October 29th regular school board meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now we're going to have a moment of silence. Thank you. Now we are going to do the contract, the superintendent contract presentation with Andrew Manna. He's our legal counsel for the Noblesville School Board from Church, Hiddle, and Antrim.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm here tonight on our statutory process for a superintendent contract to be approved. This process is a little bit different than in the past. The process as of today by Indiana Code is that we publish in the newspaper a draft version of that proposed contract that was published in the Hamilton County Reporter on October 18th, also October 21st, as well as the Times on October 16th. We do that 10 days in advance of this meeting to give notice of the proposed terms of the contract. Tonight, I will run through, and we have a proposed version summary on the website as of that time period as well. We will go through the provisions of the contract and then take any public comment and then a vote by the board. Approximate numbers for Noblesville schools. I said these are approximate of your buildings, students, and educators. Gives you a framework of the basis of what your superintendent organizes and oversees as the superintendent. The proposed length of this contract, which will be retroactive to July 1st, is a 3-year contract with 1-year extensions unless you give notice by January 1st. So that results in a rolling 3-year contract to a maximum term of 8 years. The position of the superintendent and the duties included in the contract are those typical of a superintendent performing the duties and as outlined by board policy. Again, I'm going to go through these provisions with board. You have a draft copy and a summarized version. $199,851 annual salary beginning July 1st with potential for annual increase based on the evaluation of the superintendent. Access to current group insurance plans offered to full-time employees. School will pay 81.4% for the premium, 100% of the premium for life and disability. Board, if you have questions, I can take those as we go, but I'm giving you the summary version. This is an annual stipend of $12,000 for additional duties paid bi-weekly. $1,200 annual stipend for technology costs. Reimbursements of the professional organizations or payment of the membership dues and will be paid as approved by the board. Reimbursement for mileage at the standard corporation rate for out-of-district business travel. Leave days, holiday paid leave days offered to other full-time administrative employees. The superintendent will receive 30 vacation days annually. If the corporation obligations prohibit the superintendent from taking those, he will be paid for those unused vacation days up to 10 days in a calendar year. And in the event the corporation would choose to convert administrator vacation to PTO in the future, the maximum 10-day buyout would still apply. Payment for these days shall occur on June 30th of the contract year with 30 days following verification by the payroll department. Employer retirement. Annual amount up to the IRS maximum limit on the 403B and the IRS maximum limit for a 457B for that calendar year. Other fringe benefits to other full-time school employees, provisions regarding evaluation and the termination process, which is applicable Indiana Code provisions, and the miscellaneous provisions regarding non-monetary aspects. So this presentation goes over the summary, and what I'd like to do now is ask if we have any members of the public signed up for public comment on the proposed contract.
We do not.
All right, Madam President, members of the board, you have a proposed contract and the terms that have been published. I would turn it back to you for your vote.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the superintendent's contract? Joe, may I have a second?
Second.
By Stephanie. Any further discussion? Laura?
I just wanted to make a comment, basically, that one of the changes in the contract, as we've discussed, is the vehicle for retirement funds. So that was one of the main reasons that we redid the contract.
Yep. Thank you. Anyone else? All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Heil, for recognitions.
Before I do that, Board, I do want to say thank you to all of you for your continued support, and a huge thank you to this community. It has been an amazing blessing to me and my family to be here in Noblesville. I love this district. We are doing so many great things, and as you're going to hear later tonight, we're just getting started. We got so many great things coming. So with that said, it's time to recognize some guests we have in the room tonight. So we have several teams and groups from West Middle School that are here with us this evening that we're going to call up. So when I call your team and your coach or sponsor, students, if you would come down front, we're going to do one group at a time. So first, we're going to recognize West Girls Golf Team. So please come on down.
Good evening. My name is Brad Coverdale, and the other good-looking hairdo over there is Brad Howard. We are the coaches of the West Girls Golf Team, and we're here to recognize their outstanding season this year. These awesome girls won every match except one, but we're not going to talk about that one, are we? No? They are the winners of the Zionsville Invitational, and they completed a back-to-back Hamilton County champion. So 2 years in a row, these girls have won county. Our 8th graders are leaving us with only losing 4 matches in 3 years, so very talented group heading on to high school. So Dr. Heil and school board members, we'd like to thank you for inviting us and being able to be recognized in front of everybody. Thank you.
I hope you guys are going to play that.
Well done. Congratulations.
Good job. Great job. Congratulations. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations. Great job. Thanks.
All right. Next, we're going to recognize the West volleyball team, 8th grade volleyball team.
Hello, my name is Catherine Klee, and I am the 8th grade volleyball coach, along with assistant coach Sydney Bollinger and the rest of the 8th grade Noblesville West volleyball team. We are here because we also had a wonderful season, an undefeated season where we only dropped 3 sets the entire time. We also came away with a county championship. I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with our community the wonderful success of our Noblesville West 8th grade volleyball team. This season was incredible, not only because we went undefeated and won the county championship, which is the first in West history, but also because our parents and fans were able to see just how talented each and every player is. These girls are not only talented on the court, but they are exemplary students. From our managers to the players to the coaching staff, everyone contributed each day, whether at practice or during a match. These athletes had a dream season, only dropping 3 sets. Their hard work and determination never faltered. In fact, they excelled when pressured. I would like to end with not only thanking this amazing group of ladies, but also thanking their parents. Their support throughout the season was and will always be a driving force to their child's success. I am so incredibly proud to be their coach, and I know my assistant, Coach Sydney Bollinger, feels the same way. Thank you to the Noblesville Board for this recognition.
Yeah, right?
Right? Yes. Congratulations. Great job. Great job.
Congratulations. Great job. Great job. Congratulations. Great job. Great job. Good job. Congratulations. Thank you for all you do.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
For all you do. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. Yes.
Congratulations.
All right. Our third team is the West 7th grade football team.
We've got quite a few kids, so we're going to try to keep this nice and organized here. Hey, bigger guys get
We
in the
get
back.
more middle schoolers than high schoolers show up to these because they. Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
This is Kersey's son.
All right, so first, thank you for inviting us tonight. My name's Sean Owens. I'm the head 7th grade football coach over at West, and then I've got with me Coach Frick here, Coach Quimby down on the other end over there, and a whole host of boys here with us tonight. Unfortunately, it's probably only about half of the team. A lot of the other kids are basketball tryouts, wrestling, other stuff going on, so we couldn't get everybody here tonight. So I was asked to give a brief summary of the season, and I'm going to do my best, but I have a lot of words I'd love to say about these boys, so I'll try to keep it short. For the coaching staff, the fun thing about coaching middle school football is getting a new group every year. You get to coach multiple levels of kids, new classes every single year, but at the same time, that's the difficult part of coaching middle school football as well. You have to restart with building the relationships and really installing that work ethic with every class. This class was a little bit different. They came in from day one and they were ready to get to work right away. And there was no doubt about that. They had a drive to work their butts off and get better every single day they were on the football field. And because of that work ethic, they were able to do some things that Noblesville Middle School football hasn't done in the past. Very first undefeated football season for the middle school at either middle school, west or east, and then also the very first Hamilton County championship for a Noblesville Middle School football team. So we were really excited. A few numbers to go along with that, just to put things into perspective. We were able to outscore our opponents this year, a total of 292 to 41 points. On average, the margin of victory was almost 28 points per game, which is impressive to think about with 7-minute quarters, and most of those games were running clock in the second half. So pretty proud of what we were able to put together with this group of boys this year. Sad to let them go, but wishing them the best in the future and pushing them to strive to continue that standard of championship level football that they've learned about this year, and hope they can take that forward and continue it into the future. So thank you for having us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. And then those of us, the parents in the back, thank you as well for everything you guys did for us this season.
Good job. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. Great. Good job. Congratulations. Congrats. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. All right, carry this into the high school team, right? High school? You guys are going to win in high school, right? Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Great job.
I know. I feel like I need. All right, you're doing high fives, so now I have to do high fives. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. 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 Congratulations.
Thanks for coming.
Don't smile,
Congratulations.
guys. Look
Don't
up.
smile.
Oh, he's smiling.
He's smiling.
Hi. Hi.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congrats.
Good job.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Congrats. 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 Great job. Thank you for all you do. You guys have been fun to watch. Very fun to watch. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Yeah, he's the only one. Everyone else was sweaty.
All those
Yeah.
sweaty seventh graders.
All right, and then we have one more individual recognition. So at this time, can I have the West Girls Cross Country coach please join us front?
If you know me, you don't need a clap. I'm here to represent West Girls Cross Country. I'm the head coach, Taryn Wilson, and Jamie Rickner is my assistant coach. And we are here to recognize Nalani Rinder for her individual cross country Hamilton County championship. Nalani is an amazing runner, has phenomenal talent and a great work ethic. She got first place in 8 of our 9 races. Second was the place in the one. And when she got that second place, you could see on her face that was not going to happen again. Because we ended up running the same team, and she ended up winning in the county championship. She is the winner of the Zionsville Hokum Karam with, that's a race that we run with boys and girls together. So her and the boy runner got first. She was first place at the Riverside Invitational, and she also is the new school record holder with a time of 10 minutes and 46 seconds. Which is amazing for a 3K, which is a little under 2 miles. So Nalani Rinder is a phenomenal young lady, and I can't wait for track season. She also plays basketball, so I know she's ready for basketball season. I'm ready to have her back on the track, but I'll let her go play basketball. Just want to thank the board for this recognition. I want to thank Nalani for her hard work and her parents, who I know run her everywhere, and she is blessed to have you guys and the support you give her. Thank you.
Very impressive. Very impressive. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for helping. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Good to see you. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations again to all of our students that we've recognized this evening. Just always so many great things going on. So now we're going to move on to our Hair Teacher Spotlight. So really quickly, for those who maybe haven't been here before for this, the Hair Chevrolet Teacher Spotlight program highlights 3 teachers every month and provides $1,000 to their school for student academic and extracurricular achievement. So at this time, I'm going to introduce Mr. Jack Lawrence, principal of Hinkle Creek, who's going to talk to us about our Hair Teachers of the Month.
All right, I'd like to thank, first of all, Dr. Heil and members of the board for allowing us to present some excellent teachers in front of you today. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you 3 outstanding educators from Hinkle Creek for the spotlight for the month of October. And I'm going to ask that they all come up, and I will talk about them individually. So we would ask that Mrs. Todd, Liz Todd, Mrs. Desiree Pauley, and Miss Kate Donovan please come forward.
We never have that many.
And I will start with Miss Kate Donovan. No, you can go with. Don't hang her out to dry there. Here we go. Kate is a 5th grade teacher, 2 years of teaching experience. She became a teacher because she loves kids, wants to make an impact on their lives. Her goal is for them to grow as individuals in all aspects of their lives and prepare for the future. Advice for parents is to ask questions and communicate with your child's teacher early on in their academic career. Outside of school, she coaches soccer, likes to watch reality TV, and spend time with family. Noblesville Schools is special because of the relationships with grade level team, Hinkle Creek staff, and the students and their families. Kate Donovan. Next, I'd like to spotlight and introduce to you Desiree Pauley. She is a kindergarten teacher with 13 years of experience. She became a teacher because her family had many teachers and knew she wanted to teach. Her goal for students is to learn how to think independently, be a good person, always be curious. Advice for parents is to be involved with your child in school as you are instrumental to success. Outside of school, she likes to plan trips and travel with her family. Noblesville Schools is special because as a native Miller, she has witnessed the growth of the city while maintaining excellent schools and staff. Desiree Pauley. And finally, Mrs. Liz Todd. Kindergarten teacher, 17 years of teaching experience. She knew from a young age that she would grow up to be a teacher. Her goal for students is to love great stories and for them to have social skills for learning in a community. Advice for parents is to start doing the hard parts of parenting while your children are young. Outside of school, she enjoys time cheering on the Millers at soccer and marching band events. Noblesville Schools is special because it felt like home right away, and we have been proud to raise our kids here. Liz Todd. Would you guys like to speak? Again, I'd like to thank Hare Chevrolet. They donate every year to our schools in honor of our amazing teachers. Thank you, Hinkle Creek Spotlight teachers.
Thank you for all you do. Thank you.
Great job. Congratulations. Great job.
Kindergarten, God bless. Kindergarten, that's amazing.
Great job.
Okay. Next, I have the honor of providing a very short spotlight presentation of some special things happening around at Hinkle Creek. We have chosen to spotlight a few of our after-school extracurricular activities or clubs that you will find at Hinkle Creek. There are many, but we've only chosen 4 tonight. We are thankful to the board, Noblesville Schools, to be able to offer extracurricular activities and clubs at the elementary level. We call them ECAs. Our first club we're going to recognize, our team is the robotics team. We will build, if you would go to the next slide. Thank you, sir. Keep going. One more, there we go. Robotics teams, they build hero bots designed to play a specific game for that particular competition year. They actually spend time learning the game and then designing their bot to increase scoring opportunities. Students develop multiple game strategies. They keep copious engineering and design notebooks over the 7 months that the club meets, and then they spend an average of about 65 hours preparing to compete in the spring competitions. Another club I want to recognize tonight is the Running Club, one of our more popular sports clubs at the school. Members of the Running Club participate in the art of physical fitness by running the various outdoor areas of Hinkle Creek property. Not only is it a terrific opportunity for physical fitness, but it's also very fun and social time for the kids. Next, I want to talk about the Announcements Club. At Hinkle Creek, our students are in charge of the weekly video announcements. They are viewed every Monday morning. Therefore, we have a very important club, the Announcements Club. Students record reminders of upcoming important school events. They announce student and staff birthday wishes, school spirit days, and much more. And hopefully you will notice, although I'm a little worried by that exclamation point up there, you will notice the students have a good time making the announcements video. Not going to happen, he says. All right. I apologize to all of you because you are in for a treat. The Cougar Choir. Yes, they are called the Wonderful Cougar Choir. The Cougar Choir is a group of students who perform at various events at our school and in the Noblesville community. We are blessed that members of the Cougar Choir are here tonight. Thank you, parents, by the way, for bringing them. They're going to share with you one of their favorite songs. It's actually also one of my favorite songs. Again, I would like to invite up all of them. We had a really good turnout tonight. Thank you again, parents. I might add, they're going to perform one song. It is a special song. It's an important song. And as you know, at this very time in 1 week, all of us are going to be probably glued to our television. And don't worry, Dr. Harrell, I'm not going to get political on you here. You're going to be glued to your television. You're going to be watching those results come in from the election. And hopefully, you understand a little bit about the Electoral College. If you know anything about the Electoral College, you know you must understand and know your 50 states. Our Cougar Choir is here today to teach you a little bit about those wonderful 50 states. And their director, Mrs. Allie Kunkel.
Nice job. That was amazing. 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 Fantastic. Awesome. Great job. Good job. That was amazing. You had amazing voices.
Thank you. That was great. Thank
You had a big job. That was good. That was good. Great job. Good job. Nice firm handshakes here. Congratulations. Good. Oh, yeah. Good. Oh, yeah. I like this. Good job, girls. Great job. Congratulations. Beautiful voices. Beautiful voices. Love it. Love it. You all look so nice. Really? Oh, well, that's awesome. Good to see you again. Congratulations. You guys did great. Great job. Great job.
I just realized this can move. All right, I have just a couple more recognitions today. I'll wait. At this time, I'd like to bring forward Mrs. Christina Trusty, a kindergarten teacher at Hinkle Creek. Mrs. Trusty started Fueled for School to help students of Noblesville who may not have the opportunity to obtain enough food on the weekends. And again, she did this about 8 years ago, I believe, in 2017. Her and a few of her close friends and colleagues gathered food donations, started a food pantry to be able to pack bags called weekend meal packs. Now, she did all of this, but the program, again, known as Fueled for School, could not exist without the many food and monetary donations made by various people and organizations within the Noblesville community. Continuing with our spotlight theme tonight, I want to spotlight a Hinkle Creek student that's going to come up at this time, Mr. Sam Abbott. Sam, please come forward. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Sam. About 5 years ago, Sam, he and his family, they ran a lemonade stand in their backyard during every Labor Day weekend golf outing at Harbor Trees Golf Club in North Harbor. And Sam has been amazing. He is a fifth grader now, so we're going to hate to see him move on next year. Board, I appreciate you allowing me to recognize not only Mrs. Trusty, but Sam and his family, because now Sam has a presentation, and you need to pay attention particularly to the dollar amount of this donation. Quite amazing. Sam, would you like to speak? You want to come over here and use the mic?
I would like to thank all the staff, Mrs. Trusty, Mr. Lawrence, Mrs. Reed, for helping me in school. And this year, we had our lemonade stand, and it was a success. We had delicious lemonade, bacon, a ginormous water slide, and this year, we raised $24,000, $30.
Oh my gosh. Great job. Thanks.
Great job, thanks. That's incredible.
Amazing. Thank you. All right, next up on the agenda, we have public comment on agenda items, but we have had no one that registered or signed up. So we will move on to consent items. By a single motion, the board approves and adopts the following items or actions on board policy in the Indiana Code. Those are claims from last meeting, September, overnight trips, and personnel listings. May I have a motion to approve the consent items as listed?
Motion.
Misty? Joe, second. Any further discussion? Turn your mic on.
How's that, better?
Yes.
All right, let's recognize the people that make donations to our schools. The Nicholson family, $200 to $500 for the Victrola music player. Jan and Lewis Melson, to assist students in need, $50. Tri Kappa to assist students in need, $300. Noblesville Rotary Club for NHS Robotics Club, $5,000. Anonymous Drum Set and cases for NHS bands and jazz bands, $500. And Genesis Church Fellowship to Christian athletes, $250.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Laura, did you have?
Yeah, I have a question, and this is regarding claims. Can I go ahead and make that? Okay. So thank you to maybe Misty for all your questions on the other claims on the different dockets. I appreciate that because I had some of the same questions, but there was one that I still wanted to ask. So, David, I'm sure this will come to you. In docket C, page 33, it's payable to Time for Kids, supplemental materials for 25/8/19.
Yeah, Time for Kids. So that's actually in reference to Time Magazine. So that's going to be a magazine subscription at the elementary level, considered a curriculum material. So that's part of our overall curricular material expenses for that Time Magazine subscription.
And what classrooms use those?
It's, I believe it's first through fifth, I believe. Yeah, all elementary level there, first through fifth.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion, questions? All right. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, moving on to NHS new course additions. Several new courses are needed to meet future requirements associated with the Indiana College Core Career and Technical Education Pathways and the future new Indiana diploma requirements. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go back.
Yeah.
Okay. So may I have a motion to approve the new high school course additions?
So move.
Joe?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion or questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
So the revised graduation diplomas have not been completely final.
It's not final yet.
Okay.
I believe December is when the final
Right.
is expected. We're hearing that it's probably pretty close, the version that they're getting feedback, but they're still technically getting some feedback from, yeah.
So are we pretty certain that these new
Yeah,
courses are going to fill what we need?
Yes, we're trying to anticipate based on what we believe the final is going to be to make sure we have that. Or when I sent you some information on this, you'll notice this is a little bit bigger list than we normally do. But part of that is we're just trying to think ahead and approve things that we think will be likely. Some of these may not happen immediately. Some of these may be 2-3 years down the road. But we're trying to anticipate courses that we're probably eventually going to need to phase in to meet the new expectations, the requirements, what kids are going to need.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
It's quite an extensive list.
It is.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And some of this also, again, I tried to reference this a little bit in my information, but I figured it'd be easier to talk about tonight. Some of this also is as a result of our new partnership with IU Kokomo that we talked about a few months ago. You know, we have some new opportunities coming our way, so we need to prepare for that as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions, discussion?
Yes,
Go ahead, Missy. Yeah.
actually. So just because I'm unfamiliar with the process, who all is involved or how do these courses get decided? I mean, I know it's pretty extensive, but just kind of if you can give me a rundown.
Yeah, I can speak to that. So the high school administration, counseling staff, and most importantly, department chairs, they've been engaged in conversation throughout the beginning of this school year. So all of the courses that are on the list are actually already courses that exist within the approved course guidebook through the state. So they're going through looking at what we know about what the new diploma requirements are going to be and having those conversations to talk about what they think might be of interest to our students. And so it's a combination of those groups of individuals coming together to have those conversations.
Okay.
So all of these are new? Every one of these that are on the list are brand new? Like I see ones that I thought I recognized, like Calc 1, M211, 215, but is that a different Calc 1 than?
Well, you're probably, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm assuming you're referencing the
Oh, the
Indiana College
ICC.
Core. So those are the dual credit versions of those courses.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's a good point because a lot of those courses that are on that list will actually just replace other things that we already teach. They're just different versions of those courses. Yep.
That will give you.
To meet those requirements.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, there's some cool classes on there for sure.
Yes, there are, yes.
Okay.
And is there what does the process look like for approving the curriculum for new classes that we don't currently offer?
Yeah, so the first step was obviously just making sure we had board approval so that we could put those onto our local course catalog. So now our team, Jen Walton and I, we will meet with the administration. I've actually already had some initial conversations just about curricular materials and making sure that we have conversation about that and go through that process. As Dan referenced a few moments ago, we know that a good majority of these we're not going to actually offer right away. We just wanted to make sure that we had the board's approval so we could plan for them to be there in the future. You'll see many of those courses are actually part of a pathway that exists. And so we will have those conversations with the leadership at the high school and, again, most importantly, the department chair as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So is this a combination of like our new partnerships with IU Kokomo?
It is, yes.
And then is this also kind of making some headway for the new CTE wing for
It
next
is,
school year?
yes. Really, those courses that you see on that list really fit within one of three buckets. One would be the Indiana College Core, allowing us to offer the access to that for our students. The next would be increasing or expanding our career technical education pathways. And then the third would be additional elective courses available to students to fulfill what they're calling personalized electives in the new diploma, under the new diploma requirements.
Yep. Good to be proactive.
We are,
isn't it?
you have to be because things are moving so quickly. So we're just trying to stay ahead of things. Yes.
Great.
Thank you, Ryan.
Any other questions? All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And my apologies, I'm going to go back to personnel. In accordance with Indiana state law, schools are now required to utilize a more comprehensive expanded history background check for employment. The new law prohibits school corporations from employing or contracting with specific individuals without additional review and approval by the board. May I have a motion to approve the separate personnel list as related to additional background? Laura?
Second. Second.
Second. Oh, Misty? Okay. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Now to 7.3, the 2025 budget. In accordance with the Department of Local Government, the 2025 budget must be adapted prior to November 1st, 2024. David Hortemiller, our Chief Financial Officer, held a public hearing on this budget. We had one Tuesday the 1st, and then we had one also at our last school board meeting. So may I have a motion to adopt the 2025 budget as well as a resolution to reduce appropriations for the 2024 and 2025 budgets, resolution for adjustment in the budget process, resolution to adopt the school bus replacement plan for years 2025 to 2029, resolution to adopt a capital projects expenditure plan, transfer amounts from the education fund to the operation fund on a monthly basis.
So move.
Joe?
Second.
Second. Further discussion?
Yeah.
Laura?
I have a request, actually. I was wondering if David could just give a brief description of what each of those documents is that we're considering.
Yeah, sure. And I'll kind of group them into buckets in a way. So we have the appropriation reduction ordinance, the budget process resolution, as well as the resolution for, I'm trying to look through them all here, actually just be those two. So those two allow essentially for the next step. That would be to allow for myself to engage with the Department of Local Government Finance for the budget certification process, otherwise known as the 1782 process. So those are related to that. Next, we have the bus replacement plan as well as the capital equipment plan. And so those are statutory requirements that essentially just acknowledge that those have been public hearing, which of course we did do at the public hearing. And then finally, we actually have the budget ordinance itself, which is the by fund appropriation tax rate and tax levy for all funds that have a property tax. Did I get all? Also pardon me, one last one is going to be the transfer resolution. And that is going to authorize the transfer from the education fund into the operations fund on a monthly basis in 2025.
Okay, any other questions?
In your actual report, Mr. Hordermiller, it talks about insurance premiums. Is that, looks like there's been a slight increase this year for those?
Yeah, that's correct. In fact, before the board in 7.7, we'll be requesting the official request from the board to increase the insurance premiums for 2025.
And that's the biggest adjustment in the budget for this year.
Yeah, in terms of like one of the unknowns, yeah.
Right.
Aside from the salary increases.
Okay. So is there an actual percentage on salary increases?
The teacher contract, based on that, the average is about 4.2% because it's all variable based on where teachers are at in the scale. So about 4.2% for teachers, and that's based on the school year, so the 24-25 school year.
And the dollar amount difference between last year's budget and this year's budget is roughly?
It's about $6 to $7 million. So we're about 167. Last year we were about $160 million in total.
What do you think?
Yep, question. So without getting into the weeds too much at this point, is our budget, I mean, you're amazing at what you do. I'm not trying to doubt anything, but just to clarify, is our budget also accounting for like our ELL students that, I mean, because I know there's a lot of buzz going on right now with a lot of immigrants coming in. Is there a concern within our budget with that, or are we accounting for that?
I think the simple answer would be yes, that would be accounted for just by way of our staffing.
Okay. Because I know that population has increased the last few years, so I just want to make sure we're on track with anything of that nature.
And that's tied to state funding. So, as that data shows that we submit to the state that we have an increase, then in return they increase funding back to us.
Okay.
Through the
and
state
we've
funding.
received a grant for some of that too, correct?
Yeah. In fact, the state rolled that into the state funding formula, so that way they could, in essence, be more on top of that by way of those data points that we submit to them. So that comes back to us through it used to be the NESP grant, and now that is rolled into the funding formula. Really, it comes to us on a monthly basis, but the data is collected annually.
Okay.
And we're due for a demographic study also, right?
We are, yes. In fact, we plan for the November meeting for Dr. Jerome McKibben to once again present his findings based on an updated study.
That'll be helpful.
Yeah.
And I think I saw, like Misty, you mentioned the Project Where grant has funds a multilingual social worker, correct? Is that what you maybe?
Well, there was looks like what's called a Title III Immigrant Influx Allocations Grant.
Oh.
Is that?
Did you say Title III?
Title III.
Yes, yeah, the Title III, yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's managed by Dr. Bethel, and that is another one so it was the Title III and NESP, those two grants both aided in ELL.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Well, thank you for all your hard work. It's amazing.
Thank you for your support.
Yes.
Well, and one more question though. I know it was in the email we had asked questions about the necessary adjustments, but just for the public's benefit, could we maybe give a little brief explanation of that? Because just giving what I feel like is a blank approval for any adjustments to be made, what kind of parameters do we have in place?
Yeah, and again, it's more of a safeguard to make sure that as I engage with DLGF that they see that board has authorized me to make any adjustments. I don't anticipate any adjustments, but those are there just in case. A hypothetical example would be it would be adjustments that would be outside my control. And so a hypothetical would be if the county auditor realized that they made a mistake in certifying net assessed values. And in fact, I actually just saw an email from the county auditor. There was a correction to a taxing unit, a neighboring taxing unit. And so because their assessed value changed, that would change the calculations in the levies and the rates, et cetera. And so with that change, we would want to then make adjustments accordingly as well to make sure that we're maximizing based on what we're statutorily allowed to do. Again, something outside of my control, I don't foresee that happening. But if that example were to happen, that would be an allowable adjustment that I can make.
Is is that information made public?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And in fact, if there are any material changes that I would make to the budget during that process, absolutely would be reporting back to the board what those changes would be. But again, I don't anticipate that. It's just more of a safeguard, more of a procedural thing. So that way, in working with our field rep from DLGF during the budget certification process, it just makes that easy in case it wouldn't happen.
There was a, under the technology and capital expenditure, I was kind of excited. I think, Marnie, you might be on the bus with this one, is digital signage at the high school and at West. Does it, what is that? I'm kind of excited for it. Oh, no. Oh, okay. I just assumed marketing type of stuff. Oh, well, that's less exciting. Okay, sorry. I was excited for you, Marnie. Right.
All right, anything else? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next up, the board and Dr. Heil and his staff have been working very hard on our strategic plan. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Heil to do a little presentation.
All right, thank you, Ms. Crosser, and to the 10 people that have stayed with us. Brave souls, thanks for sticking around with us tonight. Appreciate you being here. So we've talked about this for several months, and I won't belabor things we've already said, but I am really excited to be here tonight and be bringing the final plan here for the board's consideration this evening. And so if you rewind almost essentially a year ago, the board and I did some initial work with Dr. Deb Leckleiter, who's recently retired from Butler University. Some of you may be familiar with her work through Butler, and we brought her in as kind of an outside consultant. And the whole point of her role was to kind of be a fresh set of eyes that, the way I describe it is, she doesn't have the Noblesville blinders on. Sometimes when you work and live in a place for long enough, you see things only through the lens of your community. And sometimes there's a lot of value in having someone from the outside come in and kind of ask questions and say, gosh, have you ever thought about this or whatnot? And so I really appreciated that time. She helped us really kind of think through in those first few months, what do we in our roles hope and dream for Noblesville schools? What do we think is so important? And so through that, the board really established 6 board goals. And that was earlier this year that the board approved those and kind of set this next step into motion. And so we then spent some time listening and asking some questions of our community. Again, if you've been with us in prior months or seen some of our communications, we did a pretty massive survey out to the community back in May. We had a pretty quick turnaround because we had a pretty aggressive timeline we were trying to do. And again, we reported on this a few months ago, so I won't belabor that. But we had several thousand community members participate. And for the first time, we had several thousand students participate. For those of you who know me and work closely with me, student voice is really important to my leadership style and the way that I lead. And I really wanted to make sure their voices were heard as we thought through some of these things as well. So we got that information back over the summer. We still took some time to digest that. The board and I and Dr. Leckleiter met and kind of looked over those things. And then right when we got back into school this year, we had our 2 public listening sessions to once again invite community to come in. And we tried to frame those around what did we learn and hear from that survey, and then what do we want to know more about? We want a chance to have people have an opportunity to just have conversation with us and share a little bit more what's on their minds and help us flesh out and understand some of the things we heard. And so we had those 2 sessions. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I met some new folks on both of those sessions, and we got to really hear some great feedback. And so the final step was to take all that information and organize it in a way to be a document and a plan that we could take moving forward. And so as we started to put that together, I kind of took the lead on taking that and trying to think, how do we make sense of all this information? And really, I kind of shared with the board, the answer felt like it was right in front of me, because as I read through and considered everything we learned through those months, everything fell under the 6 goals that our board had already established. It was very nice, very convenient, actually. So we still took that feedback and considered how to slot those things and make sure those dreams and hopes from our community were heard through the 6 lenses that our board had established. And so the document that we have on board docs tonight, and it's public if you have it pulled up on your devices out there in the audience, takes those 6 goals that, again, the board approved a while back, but also then fleshes them out a little bit in the goal areas and kind of talks about things that we envision as measures of success and some of the strategies that we're going to use at Noblesville Schools to guide our work moving forward. And the whole vision behind all of this, for me as your superintendent, is that you know, amazing things have been happening in Noblesville schools for years, but the importance of a plan like this is keeping us all focused on the same target. We've all agreed and made some commitments to one another that this is what we value, this is who we are, this is who we serve, and this is how we lead and how we take care of and love on the children of Noblesville. And it helps us really frame our decisions through that lens, and that's for everyone. These are certainly commitments for the school district, but I will take it a step further and say these are commitments based on what our community's told us. And so we want the community to also agree this is who we are and this is what matters to us at Noblesville Schools and as your school system that educates your children. So the last thing I'm going to say, because I feel like I'm getting a little long-winded, if you look at the first page, this is really important. I want to point out that one of the biggest commitments, board, that you remember we discussed, and I wanted it in writing tonight, is that starting in January, we're going to do a report every single month moving forward at the board meeting on one of the goal areas. And so basically we've set it up on a rotation so that every 6 months they'll repeat, because there's 6 goals, so it'll be twice a year. We'll hear every area. They're out of the order 1 through 6 only because a couple of these areas, it made sense for them to land on certain months because of things we're already doing. So I'll give you an example. It made a lot of sense that strategic capital and resource management happened in January because as a January meeting, as the board knows, every January there's some financial requirements we have to do with the board anyhow. And it actually lines up a lot with what we talked about in this. So it'll be a great chance to say, here's our annual check-in. Here's where we are. Here's some of our reports that we give through the state, and here how this aligns board with the goals that we've set in that area. So again, if you look there, the order for those in the audience, if you don't have it pulled up, will be goal 4, goal 3, goal 2, goal 1, goal 6, goal 5, and then they will just repeat forever. And why that's so important to me is, one, we of course want to make sure the board has a better understanding of the work we're doing in these areas that we've set. But just as, if not more importantly to me, it's important that our community knows what we're doing for the commitments that we've made. The community is hearing updates from us on a regular basis on the importance of this work and some of our successes and some of our challenges, because some of these we'll have challenges with them. We know that, but we want our communities to be partners in this work and understand and know and support everything we're doing. So again, I probably talked longer than you wanted to let me talk, but I am, if you can't tell, I'm really excited about this work. I have a lot of passion for this. And I'm just really excited to see this move forward and to start sharing out all the great things we're doing starting in January.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the Noblesville Schools strategic plan? Laura?
Second.
Second by Joe. Any further discussion?
I want to just make a comment. And thank you, Dr. Heil, for taking the leadership on this and having Deb Leckleiter help us navigate through all of it. We spend a lot of hours together meeting and discussing and planning and dreaming. So it's great to see the final product. Yeah. So thank you.
And it'll be great to see Marnie do a
flashy version.
A flashy version to hand out. All right. Okay.
Yep. We'll talk about that in just a second.
All right. All those in favor? Aye. All right. Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Moving on to bids for the Noblesville High School air handle replacement project. May I have a motion to approve the bid from Irish Mechanical for the replacement of air handler units at the Noblesville High School with a total contract amount of $2,538,672.
So move.
Joe? Can I have a second?
Second.
Second, Stephanie. Any further discussion?
I just want to make a simple comment. Just so y'all know, there is more involved in this than what you realize. There's a total of 66 pages for this for us to review. So, and there's lots of, money, of course, involved and conversations. So this isn't something that's taken lightly, and it does take a lot of time behind the scenes as well, more than just what you see us do right here.
Well, and plus we got to tour
the
high school to actually see the degraded
pictures,
equipment that
tours,
we had, with the rust and the leaky water and the whole thing.
Yep, the field trip was good.
And has the process actually started? Have we started moving forward with switching out some of those?
Yeah, so this is actually the first of that process to accept this bid tonight for them to begin construction. Actually, with this bid, they believe they can do one over spring break. So one over spring break, and then the rest of them summer of 2025.
Great. Well, I can tell you, I think it's part of the current construction going on, though, is the HVAC at the high school has been turned off. I have one unhappy student. Because, of course, the two hottest days at this time of the year are right now when the HVAC is turned off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anything else? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Moving on to stop-loss coverage. The district solicited carriers for stop-loss insurance for January through December, and the best offer was an estimated premium of $2,248,930. May I have a motion to approve the Symetra Life Insurance Company as a stop-loss coverage provider under the district's self-insurance medical plan?
Motion.
Stephanie?
Second.
Joe? Any further discussion?
Just a quick question. Do we know what percentage increase this is over the other carrier?
From a percentage standpoint, I'm actually not sure, but from a dollar amount, it was very immaterial. I won't say exactly because I don't remember the exact amount off the top of my head, but it basically came in right at what we were at. In fact, I can tell you it was less than what we were at. In fact, our incumbent did not submit an offer for this. So we were, and it's kind of a long story. They actually were bought out. Unum was bought out by another insurance company, and so kind of in their transition, they did not solicit an offer. But I can tell you it was less. I don't have the exact amount, but it was just a little bit less than what we were paying.
Can you explain what stop-loss coverage is?
Yeah, absolutely. So the district being self-insured on the medical insurance front, we of course use Anthem for our claims, our coverage, and stop loss is just kind of what it says in the name, that Anthem will cover up to a certain point, and with that point, in this case, it's $200,000. So anything above and beyond any claim that exceeds $200,000, Symetra, beginning next year, will pick up that amount. So then that way, again, just based on our claims experience and the actuarial analysis that our advisor helps us put into this, we believe then that premium that we'll pay of $2.2 million will actually be hopefully less than what the total amount of stop loss for claims that exceed $200,000 next year.
That's for individual claims, $200,000.
Individual claims, exactly.
It doesn't take long to get to 200,000 though, does it?
Days, no.
It really doesn't. Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to medical insurance, I think David spoke about this a few minutes ago, about the increase in medical insurance. May I have a motion to approve the 7.5% premium increase in the medical insurance plan beginning with January 1, 2025 plan year? Laura?
Second.
Second by Joe. Any further discussion?
Can you explain the increase again?
Yeah, so in this case, actually I'll back up by saying that just a few weeks ago, there was an article in the IBJ about health insurance nationwide, and that large organizations are experiencing on average a 10% increase. And of course, we're not immune to an increase, but what we were originally looking at when our advisor looked at about an 18-month experience, which is typically the window that you look at, we were trending at about a 13% increase. But in working with them and our benefits committee, we decided to move forward with 2 pharmacy initiatives to help bring down that overall increase for our employees. So originally, like I said, we were trending at about a 13% increase. We're at 7.5%. We're lower than that national average, just again due to the fact that health insurance costs are increasing. And so for 7.5% next year, is it good? Is it bad? It is what it is. That is both for the employee and the employer. The employer portion of ours is 81.4%, and then the employee picks up the rest of that. So again, that's 7.5% increase for both employee and employer. 25.
This takes a lot of work on your part. This involves a lot, so appreciate you trying to get those numbers down and give good coverage for our staff and our teachers. So I know it takes a lot of time and effort.
Yes.
Appreciate.
But at least it's once a year, so that's helpful.
Yeah, it stinks that it's going up, but you're below the IBJ 10%, so there you go. Thanks.
Yep.
This particular one is once a year, but there are multiple other areas that you negotiate.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yep. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next agenda item is public comment for a non-agenda item, and we did not have anyone sign up. So we will move to committee reports, starting with Dr. Heil.
All right, thank you. So first off, I hope everyone had a great, restful fall break. It was a nice little break there. For me, it's kind of my catch-up time. I don't go anywhere. It's just a good time to catch up, but great to see everybody back the last couple of days. As Mrs. Cook shared a minute ago, tomorrow is my annual State of the Schools address at 11 a.m. at the Noblesville Schools Community Center. If you would like to go and aren't already signed up, I believe you can still get tickets through the Noblesville Chamber. There's a link online. If you have trouble, come see us. We'd be happy to get you there. So really looking forward to that. And as Mrs. Cook shared, in anticipation of tonight's vote on the strategic plan, we've actually built the presentation tomorrow totally around our new strategic plan. So if you're going to be there, I look forward to sharing more tomorrow. I won't say any more tonight, so you have something to look forward to tomorrow. A couple of team updates. Our girls soccer team and girls and boys cross country are all headed to state this weekend, so best of luck to our students. Our marching band is also headed to state this weekend, and so we will recognize them, of course, in future meetings once we find out how they did. So look forward to welcoming them here to the meeting here in a few weeks. This morning, if you haven't been on social media today, we had the second meeting of my student advisory committee for elementary students today. And as I promised them last time, today's meeting was built completely around food service. And so the food service team, Erin Bratton and her team, did a phenomenal job. They did such a great job for these kids. We came in and kind of learned a little bit about how food service operates and some of that. But then the highlight was definitely that the students had the opportunity to be taste testers of some new items that we are actually considering for the cafeteria, and they got to give feedback. And I think they'll be very excited in a few weeks when they see these items, the ones that obviously were very liked today, show up at the cafeteria. So this was a great example of them getting to come in, really be actively engaged, and they truly made an impact. And as part of that, there was definitely a time for students to just openly share, also with myself and the food service team. They shared some great feedback that the food service team had never heard about some specific items or just things that they like or don't like about the flow. So it was, I will just say, it did exactly what I hoped it would do. It was such a great day. So Thursday, later this week, will be the secondary group's turn. So we'll have the middle school and high schoolers back for a similar experience, but a little different with the older kids. So again, very excited about that. It's going very well, and I've really enjoyed that. And then the last thing, just for the benefit of our community, I think everybody knows by now, we have 3 open seats on the school board. This is an election year. So as Mr. Lawrence shared earlier, I encourage everybody, of course, if you haven't already gone to early voting, I've heard the lines have been long every day at early voting. I haven't gone yet. But of course, hope everyone gets out and gets the vote out and makes your voice heard. And I look forward to welcoming whoever's elected in just a few weeks as we plan for 2025. So that's my update, board. Thank you.
All right, thank you. ELA program review, Stephanie and Misty.
Okay. So we met, and actually it was a couple of days. We did the learning walks. We visited multiple school buildings, multiple classrooms, and just observed the learning process when it comes to the language arts curriculum. Just observed how the students are learning in different ways, how teachers are teaching in different ways. There was a lot of common methods used, which was good to see. Because we know that they do it, but it was good to actually witness it. And then our second day, we met back here, and Megan with the Center of Excellence in Leadership of Learning from the University of Indianapolis joined us. And we did a few different writing activities, question and answer, shared some like childhood experiences when it comes to reading, and also with our own children, those of us that have children, our favorite books, and just talked about different things and how it relates, how we all start from a different background and different experiences as a child, and how that all develops into the student and into the classroom, whether it's the teacher or the student. I'm really excited to be a part of this. I know Stephanie, she enjoys it as well. And it's just, I love being in the classroom and seeing the kids and all the activities and how the teachers really interact with the students. So I'm thankful to be a part of this committee, so thank you.
Anything for you, Steph?
No, well, there was I thought it was really cool. We were in one classroom where the teacher, the way that she takes attendance, this was at the middle school, the way that she takes attendance is by asking them a favorite thing. So when we were in there, she was asking them what their favorite restaurant was, and so that's how they said here. So she would say like Bobby, and he would say McDonald's, and just for the record, one kid said St. Elmo's.
Oh, wow.
Wow, only in Hamilton County.
Uh-huh.
Hamilton
St. Elmo's.
Right.
The teacher was like, I think I've only been there once. Anyway, it was cool because it was like a community circle by just kind of being able to say here. It was kind of neat. So,
Yeah, well, and
so
we
cool to
visited-
see that stuff. I love it.
Her and I were on two different teams. There
you
are
weren't in
a
there.
lot
That's
of us. So she went to different schools, I went to different schools, different classrooms. And it was just neat to see, the teachers interact and how they get the day started up, especially with the elementary students. One of the teachers, actually several do, based on my experience as substitute teaching, but it was good to see that they still do it, is like a morning message on the dry erase board. Just kind of give the students a, welcome, good morning, today is, Tuesday, October 29th, and this is what we're doing today, and just kind of gets them started, gets their think tank going, and gives them something to discuss to start their day. It's really cool to see. Our teachers are amazing, but I don't have to tell you that.
Okay, thank you. ISBA Legislative Committee, Joe.
Yes, last month, Dr. Heil and most of the cabinet, or all the cabinet, and our entire school board attended the Indiana State School Board Association and Association of Public School Superintendents Conference in Indianapolis. It was a big celebration. It was the 75th year of doing it. And what this conference offers is lots of presentations that relate to public schools, both from the superintendent standpoint and for what school board members. So we all kind of broke up, all five of us, and tried to get a maximum efficiency out of making sure we all learned something new while we were down there. Another thing you get to do, you get to associate with school board members from north, south, east, and west, and it's always good, as do superintendents, share what your school's doing. And I always must say how many people go, Noblesville schools, boy, you guys got it all figured out there. So I enjoy my conversations with people northeast, west, and south about how good our schools are down here in Noblesville. Now, as a part of this, I'm the Indiana School Board Association delegate for our school board this year, and part of what that delegation, that's a separate meeting, and we review the budget for the ISBA services, awards, nominations. But our biggest thing is the legislative priorities that we're going to do for 2025 in the state legislature as superintendents, school board members. We help lobby the state because that's how all our budgeting comes from that. So we look at tuition support, pre-kindergarten programs, complexity index, English language learners, special education categorical funding, summer school reimbursement. We lobby for all those sort of things. And the second thing on the priority list is secure schools and the safety grants we get, which David's going to be seeking those out. Teacher retention grants, TIF taxing matters, and other referendum items. So that's our legislative agenda, which will start once the legislature gets back. But it's a good meeting. We all attend. I think we all derive a lot of good information out of that meeting. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to be the guy in this seat.
Okay, thank you, Joe. All right, next up, Noblesville Schools Education Foundation, Stephanie.
Our last meeting was on September 19th. Dr. Rich actually gave a presentation on the new teacher mentor program and its successes. The Ed Foundation helps fund that program by providing stipends to veteran teachers that participate. Also, we voted to change Adrienne Young's title from Executive Director to President and CEO. That title did not give her necessarily a salary increase or any other financial perks, but instead gives her the title that aligns more with her role as a nonprofit organization leader. We also discussed contributing to a scholarship for a student that started a training program for barber school while a senior at NHS that he will not be able to complete without funding. The cost is $7,000, and I think the Ed Foundation is maybe going to try to contribute $500 to that. An NHS counselor has been following this student, has been discussing the details with Adrienne. We also talked about a successful HBCU fair and the need to fund tutoring for elementary students that is no longer funded due to Title I funds being cut. And last, we discussed funding for our mental health program and that we need at least $100,000 to maintain this program. Discussions were had about how to secure this much needed funding. So.
Okay, thank you. Noblesville Youth Sports Alliance, Misty.
So that meeting was actually moved, and we are having it tomorrow.
Okay.
So I have no updates.
Okay, so next month. All right. The next board meeting will be here Tuesday, November 19th at 6 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn? Joe?
Move.
Misty, second. Any further discussion?
Yes, unless Laura's got something she wants to say first.
Okay.
You know, Heather, I'd like to, the idea of honoring classified staff once a month, I enjoy seeing those pictures and the things that you get out to us. I think that's good. And, yeah. Yes. I just think that's such a great, another one way to pat people on the back any way that we can do that. And Julie, the other thing that you mentioned in yours, which we recognized tonight, was Fuel for School, but also the Coach, Coach for Kids that we do. Like, if people just understood all the things that we help facilitate within our staff, within our school, I'm always so proud, and as I say, as I travel the state, I'm always so proud of what Noblesville Schools, does in that regard. So again, my tip of my hat to you for organizing that. And I'd like to wish Andy a good Sunday morning this Sunday, as he's going to be running the New York City Marathon Sunday morning. So we'll all be thinking out you, buddy.
Awesome. All right, anybody have anything else? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll be sleeping?